What's up everybody, it's What a Jim, and today's video let's go ahead and do the Disney Plus no spoiler and spoiler review for Obi-Wan Kenobi. I've got a lot to say for the good and the bad with this review, so I'll try my best to go as quick as I can, but I do apologise if the video does end up being about 20 minutes long, as there is a lot to say for this film. And I normally talk about the plot for the film, then the good, then the bad, and the verdict, what I rate this show out of 10. We're going to be doing all that stuff except for I'm not going to be talking about the plot, as I don't really think I can really explain it without going into spoilers. And there's no point in talking about, a plot with spoilers when you've already seen it anyway, so we're not going to be talking about the plot for this review. So we'll go straight with the good for the no spoiler parts of the good, then we'll talk about spoilers for the good. So we'll start off with the story for the good. I thought the story for the most part of the show was quite good, and I enjoyed it for quite a bit of it. I also thought that the characters were really, really great as well. Seeing Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan Kenobi was just absolutely amazing, because he does do an excellent role playing that character, and he definitely did an excellent role playing Obi-Wan Kenobi here. There are a lot of other great characters as well. Then there are a few more we'll be talking about when we get to the spoilers of this show. I thought the villains, in my opinion, were done quite well in this show. They weren't done as well as the heroes, in my opinion, but I thought the villains definitely did have their moments to shine, but I think they could have been written a bit better. I also think the acting was done very, very well here, as well as the action. There wasn't a ton of action, but what we did get, I did thoroughly enjoy. I also absolutely love the music and score for this film. To me, that's absolutely breathtaking. And I also found this film intense and emotional at times as well. And I thought with the way that the show ended, in my opinion, it ended on a high, and it ended on a satisfying note for me. But that's all we're going to be talking about for the good for the no spoilers. We're not talking about the good for the spoilers. So I want to start off talking about Princess Leia, seeing Princess Leia as a 10-year-old kid, I believe. It was just really, really great to see that, because it didn't reveal it in the trailer, in the trailers for the show. So it was a pleasant surprise for me, and I thought the actress who played her, she did a really, really excellent job. I thought she played Princess Leia perfectly. She had the personality right, she had the accent right, she just did a really, really amazing job. And it was also great to see her home planet of Alderaan, because we've not really seen much of it in the Star Wars films, so it was great to see even more of it in this show. I do feel like it was a planet that leaned too heavily on the CGI, in my opinion, but it was still a very, very nice looking planet. And it was also great to see Darth Vader in this show, and I think Hayden Christensen did an amazing job at playing Darth Vader. He was just as menacing as ever, and it was just really, really great to see Darth Vader again, as him and Obi-Wan Kenobi are my favourites. That's some of my favourite Star Wars characters. And I want to talk about the Inquisitors. These are the characters that I feel like these are the villains that I think could have been written a bit better. But I thought for the most part the Inquisitors were fine villains. Nothing really, really bad, but nothing really, really good either. Just average villains, in my opinion. And it was also great to see Emperor Palpatine, even if it was just as a hologram. It was still really, really menacing, really, really just a bit scary when I saw him, even if it was just a hologram. But it was a nice surprise to see the Emperor, and also the ghost of Qui-Gon Jinn. I was not expecting to see that either. It would have been nice in the show if maybe we saw flashbacks of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn together, but it was still really, really great to see Qui-Gon Jinn nonetheless, even if it was just a Force ghost. I also want to mention just the final fight with Luke, his aunt, and uncle with Reva. I thought that was a very, very intense scene, and not many people were really the biggest fan of that section of the final episode, but I really, really enjoyed it. And my favourite part of the final episode was seeing Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader fight, and in my opinion, it was the best fight they've ever done together. It was just shot really, really well. The music was done excellently. The lightsabers looked as amazing as ever. It was just a really, really well choreographed, a well executed fight scene, in my opinion. I also quite liked there was a twist with Reva. It was a cool idea, but in my opinion, it could have been executed a lot better. I feel like I like the concept more than the way it was done in this show, in my opinion. And it was also great to see a flashback of Order 66, as I feel like that's something that I feel like Star Wars needs to show more scenes of, because it was a really, really sad event in the Star Wars lore. I also want to talk about the visuals of the lightsabers. They just look absolutely amazing. They sound really, really amazing as well. And just all the lightsaber duels were just choreographed really, really well and were just really, really fun to see. One more thing I want to talk about for the good, which is just Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker, just their relationship together, really, and the flashback with them both in. I really, really like that flashback in this show. And I will talk about the bad for the no spoilers part of Obi-Wan Kenobi. So I did find the show quite pointless, like it didn't really have to exist. And I thought that some of the visuals and the CGI could have been done a bit better. It looked like it was done on the cheap, in my opinion. I want to also talk about the Stormtroopers. I feel like in a lot of Star Wars films, they've got terrible aim, and in this show, they've got terrible aim. They're just really, really not good at firing their weapons. They're just really, really not. I also found the show, even though it had only 6 episodes, there was still repeating plot beats, and to me it's quite concerning with a season that's only got 6 episodes, like I said. And I also think that the writing could be improved, and there are scenes that make no sense to me, and in my opinion, it's just lazy writing. And now let's talk about the spoilery stuff for the bad for Obi-Wan Kenobi. There were some scenes that I just think are just downright bad, in my opinion, such as when Princess Leia is running in the trees in episode 1. I mean, those bad guys could easily catch up with Princess Leia, and she wasn't running that fast. It was just a scene that was really, really daft, and the more I think about it, the more I just think that scene was just really, really badly done, in my opinion. And also, there's this one scene, and I believe it was episode 2. It might have even been later in the season when there's this barrier that Obi-Wan Kenobi is concerned that he can't get across. But there are 2 gaps either side. Why can't he just go around that way? Why does he have to actually shut down the barrier? To me, it just made absolutely no sense. There are also, in my opinion, a couple of other scenes that I thought made no sense, but to me, those 2 that I mentioned were the standouts for me. I also think that Obi-Wan Kenobi doesn't use the lightsaber enough. He doesn't really use it until late in the show. And to me, that really, really frustrated me, because the lightsaber is one of my favourite things of Star Wars, and he's saving it until very near the end of the season, when there's only 6 episodes. To me, it was just a bit disappointing to see. But when we did see the lightsaber, oh, it was absolutely amazing. I also want to mention about the repeating plot beats. And one example of this is Princess Leia getting kidnapped twice in the show. She was kidnapped towards the end of the first episode, and then it's like episode 3 or 4, she's getting kidnapped again. And I just find that really, really bizarre. The fact there's only 6 episodes in the season, and she's getting kidnapped twice. The repeating plot beats with a show that's not got that many episodes, to me, I just find it ridiculous. I just find it laughable at times, and I feel like this series could have had more episodes overall. 6, in my opinion, wasn't enough. With how much they were putting in this show, I think 10 episodes would have been better, in my opinion. I'm glad I've got all my frustration of the show out on my chest, but I'll now talk about the verdict for the no spoilers. Well, this will contain no spoilers, the verdict, so you don't have to be worried about that. So I recommend this show to Star Wars fans and for people who have Disney Plus. And there are quite a lot of problems with the show, but I do feel like there's quite a lot of things I did enjoy as well. But I would give this show a 7.5 out of 10, maybe a 7 if I rewatched it, but at the moment I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. So yeah, I rate it a 7.5 out of 10, and now we'll go ahead and rank the episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi. So my number 6 is episode 4, which I'd give a 6.5 out of 10. Number 5, episode 3, I'd give a 7.5 out of 10. Number 4, episode 2, 8 out of 10. Number 3, episode 1, 8 out of 10. Number 2 is episode 5, 8 out of 10. And number 1, episode 6, my favourite episode of the entire season, and definitely did see the best till last, and I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was an amazing episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's really all I've got to say for the no spoiler and spoiler review for Obi-Wan Kenobi. You can let me know what you thought of the show in the comment section below. Considering half of this is spoilery, you can let me know your thoughts of the show and give spoilers for it. Just give a spoiler warning in case people haven't seen the show and they look in the comment section. But I appreciate you watching, and don't forget to leave a like, subscribe and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, May the force be with you. Stay safe. Peace and love. Take care. And ciao.